Hey guys. I'm home a little bit later than I should be because there was some delays. Should have been home an hour ago. And I don't feel like eating, even though I've got food here. It looks a bit, doesn't look great. That is my salad and some falafel because that's what I always feel like after a run, a heavy drum and bass run. I got so lucky, I can't even tell you because I think this has been my best run this year, partly obviously because it was much shorter. It was only maybe an hour and a half probably. And the speed was just perfect. I wish I wish the speed was always like this because I got to really enjoy the run and the music. I was locked into the music this time, properly locked in. This was an amazing set. This was an amazing set. It was it was really good. I don't know if this will get uploaded or not to YouTube, but there were some tracks that he played that made me, the DJ, that made me think of the style of drum and bass that I really, really love. So I think his job is so difficult because he has to cater to so many different types of people. People who either love drum and bass or perhaps don't love drum and bass, and so he has to sort of cater to everyone's palette. And I think that's a tough job, to be honest with you. This one, because it was a smaller ride, and I think the reason it was smaller, I don't think it was because of the cold. We're When you're a drum and bass lover, the cold doesn't faze you. I think it's because it wasn't advertised in the same way that the usual rides are. But it's amazing, you start to see the same type of people who attend the rides. You start to recognize them, you know who they are. There was one guy right at the beginning of the ride who came up to me and he said, "Were you at the blah 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 London ride? Did you run it?" And I said, "I did." I didn't recognize him. I didn't recognize him at all. Anyway, we had a really nice chat, and I said he was on a bike, and I said, "I'm really nervous about this one because there are hardly any people here, so I think it's going to be, fast." And anyway, it materializes that I do know who this guy is because there was one oh my god, you wouldn't believe it. This is wild. There was one drum and bass ride, the London one, 2 years back. Is it 2 years now or 3 years back? Probably 3 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago. Anyway, it's not important. He was one of the guys who was walking slash running. As I was speaking to him about that, and he said he didn't need a bike on that one because it was really slow. But that was my best ride in terms of it being too much information. You don't need to know all this stuff. Apparently he was friends with the guy who this year kept hyping me up. He said one of my friends who's a runner, he kept hyping you up. And I said, "Was he wearing a blue shirt?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh my gosh, can you please say thank you to him?" And he said, "Yeah, I will," because he was hyping you up, wasn't he? He kept you going. I said, "Exactly." I said, had it not been for him, I don't know that I would have even got to where I got to. And I said to him, I sort of lost you guys at around Madame Tussauds. And then I walked the rest of the way till the end because they were just so fast at that stage. And I said, but prior to that, that guy, his friend, had been really helping me. Like, come on, you can do it. And he told me that he's a proper runner. He's like a champion runner or whatever. And I said to him, this guy, I said, it's so funny because he asked me if I was a runner. And I thought it was such a funny question to ask because I'm not a runner. I just love running to drum and bass because it's the almost equivalent of dancing, as close to anyway. So I had a really nice conversation with this guy at the end. He was so cool. He was very chill, fun. And anyway, I knew who he was when I said to him, were you the guy in the orange shirt? And he said, yeah. So I knew who he was from that London ride from 2, 3 years ago, because he was great. He was like really feeling the music and stuff. So he said, anyway, we're talking about all the different rides, blah, blah, blah. And it was just so geeky. It's so geeky to just talk about drum and bass. But I love it. There's no one I can talk to about drum and bass. So it's such a nice feeling to be able to talk to someone about drum and bass. And then as I was standing talking to him, oh, it's just the sweetest thing. I don't know this guy, I've never seen him. I don't know, maybe I've seen him before, I'm not sure. But he's not one of the gentlemen who's carrying a speaker, and he's not one of the gentlemen who's directing traffic. I recognize those guys, because they're always, even if you don't attend a ride, you always see them on camera. This guy, I don't know who he was, but he was such a nice man. And he came up to me and he said, because you ran the whole ride, this is for you. Oh my guys, he gave me a t-shirt. And the thing is, I like to support this DJ and his crew, because I think it's really important, because they're the only thing that really makes me happy these days, other than, happiness, family happiness. But basically this is the only thing that really keeps me happy. Does that sound sad? Maybe. My life revolves around the next hit of drum and bass. But one of the reasons I haven't bought one of their t-shirts already is because, as you know, I don't wear logos. I never do wear logos. And maybe this is more like a masculine color and look. I think if it had just the DJ's name inside the t-shirt without the logo, maybe on the sleeve, I definitely would have bought it. But now, of course, I'm going to have to buy something or pay, because, it's not right, I feel like. Oopsie. Anyway, I said, thank you so much. I said, thank you so much. I was so happy. I'm so happy. I'll show you the t-shirt in a second. And he's even got the right size. It's a size small. Is it 100% cotton? That's the first thing I check. Is it 100% cotton? Let's check. If it's 100% cotton, I'll be so impressed. Oh, what? 15. Guys, I think I need glasses. I can't see. That's wild. I mean, I wear glasses for distance, but not. Why can I not read this? Marrows 15% viscose. Maybe that's the thingies, but it looks like it's 100% cotton. Well done. So this, I was so proud. Oh my god, it's gonna fit me. Drum and bass on the bike. So you can see, right, this is more for the boys, but I definitely think if there was just like DJ's name inside here, or just on the sleeve, and maybe if the color was a white t-shirt, because I don't really wear black either, but I'm going to sport, of course I'm going to sport this. Of course I'm going to sport this. Don't know where exactly, but I'm going to wear it loud and proud. So that was so nice. So I said to him, can you please say thank you to the DJ and the crew? He said, why don't you just go up and say hi or thank you? I've become really shy about doing this. I don't know I don't know why. In any case, I went up and said thank you to him. And then I said thank you to his crew. They're all really nice people. They're really nice people. And there's one who I always am next to when I'm running, because he's on a speaker, so I can just sort of run alongside him. He's always very nice to me. He's a good guy. They're all good people. And that was that. And then I left, and something else happened at the end of my night, but I just don't have the energy to go into it. So it would be a very easy and simple night, and it ends up being somewhat convoluted. So I had a really tough, I smell. I had a really, it was, I shouldn't be here, but you know, when I'm on that drum and bass high, I'd had a really not great week. And I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm going to. Because, you know, I don't want you guys to think that my life is this one big fairy tale. It's not. It's not. I try to only really, I'm sure you've seen me being negative, but try not to be too negative on camera. And also I try and come on at the moment when I'm most happiest. But this week, yeah, I had a crash on one of the days because I couldn't believe it. This this opportunity had come my way. I don't really want to talk about it because I just can't be bothered. Yeah, I can't be bothered talking about it. It would have meant that I'd have to be outside of the UK, which, as you know, I've tried really hard not to be. But I'm now at a stage where I'm just not progressing here. And my family understands this. But it's really hard for me because I don't want to leave them. I just don't. I'm at that stage now where, as much as I say I kind of want to not be in London, you know, my home is where my family is. And yeah, so I really struggled with that. But I'd watched an LFA video. I haven't watched him really in a long time. Every now and again, I kind of dip back into him. But I'd caught a video, maybe it was this morning, where he'd been talking about how nowadays people have to move for opportunities, or they decide to stay with their family, close to their families, and they deal with the lack of opportunities. But I'm from London, okay? This is the epicenter of the UK. I should be able to access amazing opportunities here. And part of it's my fault, I think. A lot of it is my fault, but that's another story for another day. So I'd been thinking about that, thinking it's kind of true. If you are focused on opportunities, sometimes do have to travel outside of your city for opportunity. So this other opportunity came my way this week, and interestingly, usually it's me that's not so keen or something's not quite right, but this time round they didn't want to speak with me, which really shocked me. They liked apparently my profile, but the reason they didn't want to speak with me is because they felt I was too old, which made me laugh when I heard this. Guys, I have to pretend to be my age because I feel like it's not that I feel like a kid, it's just that I've got a kind of I don't even want to say that it's a childlike energy, but I don't feel my age. I don't necessarily, I think, look my age. I don't behave my age. My interests are all centered towards young things. Anyway, when I read this comment, it's a this because it's the third party who told me this. She said they really like your profile, but they think you're too old. And I laughed. I laughed, but I was also incredulous. And I wrote to the third party person and I said, tell them that on Friday I'm going to be running alongside a DJ and his crew to drum and bass. Because I was so aghast that they thought that I was, what the hell? What the hell? Too old? Are you kidding me? Timeless, baby. I'm timeless. I was kind of, my ego had kicked in at that point, and I'm like, what are they talking about? What are you talking about? So the lady laughed, haha, in text form. But I had that going around in my head for the next couple of days, like, too old? When did I become too old? But I can admit to you that it did kind of, I was really thrown by that comment because it means that I've, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't like being limited. I really don't. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And the first day when I'd got that information, it really kind of bothered me. Why did it bother me so much? I think because it's such a ridiculous thing to think. They could have just spoken to me and I would have found out instantly who I am and what kind of energy I have. But they just made a decision based on something so based on a number, you guys, based on a number. And then I have in my head I've got this manosphere content where they're like, she's at the wall, she's at the wall. So I had to see, this is a thing. This, when you watch stuff, I would never in the past, I would never even have had that expression in my head. Hitting the wall? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So had that had sort of taken me out this week. I'll tell you why. Because this was actually an opportunity I wanted to take. This is the crazy part in all this. The one opportunity that I actually did want to take, and it wasn't even a choice for me, kind of thing. So that was that. And then this evening when I went to this drum and bass ride, I really had to think, maybe it's all for a reason. Maybe it's because basically I need to be in London. I need to be here. But my life is, this is boring, you guys. Is this boring? I don't know. I just don't want you guys to think that everything's all hunky dory because it's not. But at the same time, it is. All right. I came across a book called the Book of Mirad, Mirdad, maybe. My Osho book, my favorite book. I'll tell you more about the John Bass ride in a second. But my favorite Osho book, I put it back up for sale again, and it got sold the day after I put it back up by a different person, by a gentleman, might I add, a Caucasian gentleman. It's not important what color he is, but I suppose there's always a thinking that people who know about Osho tend to be maybe from Indian backgrounds because Osho was Indian, but actually he was really popular with Westerners. So I did a quick Google check of this gentleman to see who he was. There were lots of different people with his name, but anyway, that's not the point. Point was, it's a book about love. It's called Love, Aloneness, Love, Freedom, Aloneness. It's all about love. I would have liked to have held on to it for a little bit longer so I could have read some sections for you because my thinking is very much aligned to this philosophy. And I don't know whether it was him that affected that philosophy or I think I already had that philosophy and then I read his book. This is eons ago, years and years ago. And I was like, yeah, he thinks in the same way. I basically Osho feels that relationships or marriage is just a contract, which I have a very similar thinking on. And he just in a very surface layer way, he sees love as being a very free thing and that you don't control the other person and that kind of thing, right? So I actually found the PDF of it online. It's not the same as reading the book and touching paper, it's just not the same. But there will be sections that I'll probably read for you at some point. I didn't check the back. The back is, thank you to the gentleman who gave this to me. I will buy something. or donate or something to this cause because it makes me so happy. What was I talking about, Osho? I can't remember, you guys. Oh no, there was a I don't know, there was a connection. Gosh, love it. I love connecting the dots. How did that happen that I got sidetracked and derailed? Anyway, that book's gone. It's long gone. And that was like my favorite book in my collection. And I had a strong attachment to this book, other than his other book called Creativity. I've got a real strong attachment to these two, and that it pained me giving it away. I posted it off today, but I think I can do the rest of my books without any sort of drama, because we can't have these attachments to things. Only people, not to things. Oh, the Book of Mirdad. Oh, see, my brain is starting to remember the connection. What was it that I was saying? Something low, something high. Oh no, you guys, if I could just rewind this. The Book of Mirdad was recommended by Osho. So I gave this book away and I thought, okay, maybe I'll buy a copy of the Book of Mirdad because I can't find it in the library. But this book is one of Osho's favorite books, and I quickly had there's a PDF of it online as well. I quickly had a look at it, and it's apparently if you don't grasp it, it's your fault. It's like your problem. So I'm like, I better grasp this book. Please don't make me not grasp this book. But one of the things is there seems to be a thing about opposites. Like, it's okay if it's high, so it's okay if it's low. That doesn't make any sense to you. I think I was trying to say it's okay if that I really wanted this, but it didn't work out. It's fine. That, yeah, I'm not being very eloquent, am I? So I really had to, this was the only, in a long while, the only opportunity that really bummed me out. It would have been fun, conditions were right, other than the fact that I would have been based in Dubai. I have no interest in being in Dubai. It was just right, you guys. It was just right. And these types of positions don't come along. I would have been super free. It would have been so much fun. And you know, I feel no shame or embarrassment in saying that. I just want to have fun. Life shouldn't be this one big drudge fest. And I don't want to live like that. And it's my biggest struggle because my life is, it feels like two lives. It's my day-to-day life, and then these moments when I'm just happy and at peace going on these drum and bass rides. I cannot tell you how happy and peaceful I feel when I go on these. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I was on the train coming back and I was just smiling the whole way. I looked manic. I looked utterly manic, and the harder I tried to stop my smile, I just couldn't. Did anything else happen on this ride? A couple of people, did I tell you a couple of people recognized, other than this guy who came and spoke to me, there was a Japanese guy on this ride. He was standing next to me. I know a Japanese face. I know a Japanese face. So I knew he was Japanese. I would have liked to have spoken to him just to say, konbanwa. But I didn't. And yeah, I was really surprised to see him at a drum and bass event. And then there was another Jamaican, ethnically Jamaican, but obviously British gentleman who stopped me, and he remembered me from one of the London rides. He said, "Why are you not on a bike?" And I said, "Oh, you know, it's just to keep fit." But actually, it's not really the reason. It's because I want to dance in moments where they stop, or where I'm walking, or just what it does, and I don't think you can do that on a bike. It's freedom of movement, lack of freedom of movement. If I'm on a bike, how am I going to be able to move freely? Everything's about freedom. So I said, you have a good memory. And yeah, that was nice. Is there anyone else? Oh, someone said something about my puffer jacket. I couldn't hear him very well because I was next to the speaker. But I think he was trying to say that, I don't know, but I think he was trying to say he thought it happened on this ride accidentally. And then at some point he realized it was intentional. And I said to him it was intentional. He's like, yeah, I figured at some point. But apparently the puffer jacket threw him off. Whenever I wear this puffer jacket, I don't know why. I think people like this puffer jacket because I get a lot of stares when I'm wearing this puffer jacket. Or maybe, yeah, I think it's a popular jacket. I need to take it for dry cleaning. Okay, now I'm just blabbering. So it was a hard week this week, and I really needed this ride. I really needed it, and I feel amazing. My knee doesn't even hurt. I'm not even hungry. I went to the shop to get some chocolate, but I couldn't find the chocolate I wanted. I could just go to bed, but I'm so wired now. I just sort of want to hang out. Okay, let me think. Is there anything else that I need to talk about before I go? I wasn't supposed to be here, really. I shouldn't be here. I should be trying to figure stuff out. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I was on that Saturday that I wasn't here, on that weekend. I hung out with an acquaintance, and she's female, interestingly. And I went to this coffee shop with her, and we hung out. It was really nice. But I realized that it's really time consuming speaking to people in a social setting because you just have to keep talking. I'm not used to it these days, as much as it seems like I talk a lot here. But that was like, wow. And she's only known me for the past few years. And I remember thinking, she'll never fully understand me. She'll never fully understand me because she doesn't know the history of who I am. It's the same with being on here. I assume that you just automatically get me. I assume that you're already in my head. To be honest, if you've been watching me since forever, you'll have a better understanding of me than people in my day-to-day life, other than family. But I just thought it kind of goes back to a lot of the, I think, contents sometimes I watch where I don't know if it's even content that I watch, but I don't think I think you need to, if you can, maintain your friendships from when you were young, because when you get older, too old? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? When you get older, you can't. How do you tell a full lifetime's living to someone that you just met in the past couple of years? I don't think it's possible. So I felt this gap. I felt like she'll never know me. She'll never get me. She'll never understand me. And it's the same with when I say things about politics. It's like, how do they not understand that I'm not political? It's like, it's so obvious to me. If you listen to anything that I say, like, it's so obvious, but you can't understand that because you haven't seen me from way back when. And that's hard because you just assume people just get you, but you actually have to explain stuff. You have to explain stuff. If you don't agree with me, by the way, it's cool. I'm so chill about stuff like that. And I think it's really important that if you're part of this channel, this is a community to me. That's why there's so few of us here. You can say what you need to say. And so if you are saying what you need to say, thank you. I appreciate it. And it makes me think about things in a different way as well. But I think fundamentally, it's a waste of time following politics or being interested in it. It will never be it's all one and the same thing, left, right. There's no difference. There's absolutely no difference. So I don't want to get into it in message form. I don't, it's time consuming. I don't want to spend time just going back and forth. And you can't hear my voice, so you can't understand the essence of what I'm saying perfectly. So that's why I didn't sort of continue that conversation. But I do think it's a waste of time. And if you're going to focus on anything, it's just your life, really. Getting ahead or doing things that you love, focusing on the people that you care about, doing fun things like this evening. You know what's so amazing is that when these rides happen, it's still amazing to me that a lot of people don't know about it, but you'll see them and they'll just take out their phone. They're just passers-by and they're just fascinated by it. And it's like, wow, this is like such an incredible thing. I still can't, I'm just incredulous at what one person has achieved and the family he has created. I think is incredible. It just blows my mind. There was one thing I wanted to say about this. It just came to me as I was talking. Oh, it's gone. Oh yeah. So I had to go into Hackney Central. Hackney Central or Hackney is all the way on the opposite side of London to me. First of all, the beautiful people, the beautiful men are in Hackney, or that area anyway. Secondly, it's got such a different vibe. I'm just not an East girl. It's a totally different vibe. So I get off the train and I'm looking at my phone, all the while aware that I need to be careful of my phone. It's not like being in West London, but even in West London these days, I'm trying not to sort of use my phone when I'm walking around, but I feel a lot more relaxed in West London. So I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I have zero spatial awareness, which is quite amazing. That's probably why I'm really not great with DIY as well. Spatial awareness is not my strong suit. So even though I'm looking at Google Maps, I still need a little bit of support just to figure out where I am, and then I can. I know you think it's ridiculous, don't you? But because I'm under time pressure, I've got off the train and I've only got about 10 minutes to get to the location. And I don't, although I know how far away it is, I like to be there just 5 minutes before at least. So I stopped they're sitting down, these three girls, and I asked them, am I going in the right direction towards London Fields? And they say, yeah, just go this way, then go that way, then go that way. And then all three of them at the same time, like literally at the same time, said, but why are you holding your phone in your hand? Don't be holding your phone in your hand. We have an issue in London where the youth snatch your phone out of your hand as you're walking. It's in certain parts of London. And I was well aware of it because I had it in a firm grip in my hand. And I said to them, thank you for saying that to me. This is not my area. And then I stuffed it in my bag. I said, thank you, because now I know I don't really need it. I did take it out once I got to a side street, but you get the gist. That kind of thing, that kind of craziness happens in London. So it's not my area, it's not my vibe, but there were a lot of attractive men in that area. So that was kind of interesting. I can feel like I'm starting to crash a little bit. Oh no, 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 no. We need to keep this high going. So that was my evening. Yeah, that was my evening. Thank you to the gentleman for my t-shirt. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I didn't get a chance to properly speak to it. But thank you very much for seeing me. And I'm gonna wear it. I will wear it. Okay, you guys, I should go. I hope you enjoyed the videos that I uploaded. I actually took a few more, but I don't know if it will be interesting to you or not. So I'm stalling, am I? Because I don't want to go. I don't want to go at all. And now this food, the smell of this food is hitting me. But I'm gonna just go to bed. Oh yeah, the coffee. I had 2 cups of coffee before I left. That did it. That's the trick. 2 cups of coffee. It wasn't 2 cups of coffee. It was 1 cup of coffee, but just like an extra amount of. I don't drink coffee, but I did it this time because I thought I just need to keep my energy up. It worked. It worked. I could have gone for another hour,